10 Tested ways to stop being lazy. Need a lazy day? It happens to the best of us. In these busy times, taking the occasional lazy day isn't just all right, but much needed. But if you find that you're taking lazy days more often than not, and you're having trouble getting things done, it could be a sign that there's something going on. A lack of passion for your job, an overwhelming to-do list, and even an underlying medical condition are just some of the things that can interfere with your desire to get things done. If you're wondering how to overcome laziness, you will find that the answer may not be as cut and dry as you'd expect. While some people may be more prone to being lazy than others, even highly productive people can find it challenging to get things done sometimes. Here are 10 tips to help you get rid of laziness and get a grasp on your productivity. 1. Break your task list into manageable chunks. You're probably sick of this phrase, but we're going to throw it at you anyway. How do you eat an elephant? Bite by bite. Simple as that. How do you lose weight? Small changes every day. This week, you make small changes to your diet and start walking. Next week, you increase that to a jog once a week. The week after, who knows? Add in sets of weights, do resistance training, or take up Pilates. The same goes for work goals. Want to deliver a kick-butt presentation that will leave your team bright-eyed and reaching for their notebooks and pens? Do bits of research and work on it every day. Start with small sessions of 15 minutes a few times a day. If you need to, increase these time blocks to 20 minutes, 30 minutes, even 45 minutes. Whatever you need to get the job done. A key point to remember is how to get started, and that will take some willpower. But don't let that put you off if willpower hasn't been in your wheelhouse before. You don't need willpower for the entire task. You just need willpower for the first few minutes of each time block you've allocated. This is because once you get started, it's easier to stay in motion. 2. Make sure your goals are realistic. Planning to drop 20 pounds by next Tuesday? That sounds a bit off? Of course you're getting stuck in neutral by this unrealistic goal. Drop 3 pounds by next Tuesday is a little bit more reasonable, but still pretty tough for some people. When setting your goals, you need to incorporate all the variables that will help you reach that goal. Is it time sensitive? Will you need to learn a new skill? Does it require a career change? Will you need to invest a sum of money to get it going? Here's the thing. You decide where you land, and having a big, scary, somewhat off-the-radar goal is completely doable, but you need to trust yourself that you will follow the path that leads to this goal. If you're setting unrealistic goals and get into a cycle of not achieving them, anything that seems even remotely difficult will be out like last week's leftovers. You need to build trust with yourself, and that means getting into the habit of achieving goals that you know you can reach. Build goals you think you can reach. Eventually, you'll build up your goals to a level where you're unsure, even a little scared. 3. Find an accountability partner. An accountability partner is someone who will be a cheerleader when you meet your goals, but more importantly, will take on the role of a psychological drill sergeant. This is someone that will give you that nudge when you're still building self-discipline while you crawl out of your comfort zone. Your accountability partner is someone who understands your goals, the methods to reach them, and what would happen if you don't meet these goals. For instance, if you're looking to train for a marathon and you're struggling to get out of bed in the mornings to get a run in, you want someone who can run with you or track your progress. They will check in on you in increments to make sure that you're reaching the smaller, bite-sized chunks of your goals. Remember the elephant? They will also be frank with you when you return to your old habits. 4. Commit to the smallest possible action. A critical component on how not to be lazy is the ability to see the smallest portion of the task and then committing to get it done. For instance, if you have an enormous project, look for that element in the project that will only take 5 minutes to complete. Then find another element that will take only 10 minutes. Soon, you'll be working on 45-minute tasks without hassle. That tendency for laziness could very well just be overwhelm and insecurity. This can wreak havoc on your mental health, as laziness keeps you in that cycle. When you're able to take it little by little and focus on the quick wins, you'll have the motivation you need to take on the larger chunks. Struggling to get going when it's time for the gym or a run? Put on your workout clothes. That will trick your brain into getting out of the door, otherwise, the act of dressing was a waste of time. See how simple that is? 5. Make it easy to get started and difficult to get distracted. If you happen to have a friend who is always on top of her household chores, you can bet your hard-earned dollars that cleaning supplies and tools are within easy reach. Your friend understands that unpacking things from a dark, dank closet or basement is a task in itself, and might push out the task at hand until there's time to do both. What about your work-from-home friends? They know the easiest way to get started is by following a foolproof system that cuts out all that jazz. And by jazz, I mean texting, social media, the TV, pets, you name it. Whatever seems to eat large chunks of your time. So here's what you do. Make sure the area is work/exercise/task friendly. This means cleaning out clutter, setting up your workstation, and ensuring that you have what you need to perform the task. Your space should be permanent, work, or at worst, semi-permanent, exercise. This way, that dedicated space is already set up for use. If this isn't possible, make sure that you set the space up ahead of time so when it's time to work, you can jump straight in. Turn off your gadgets if you can. Cal Newport, considered the authority on focus and getting things done, has a system where he creates blocks of time for focus. In these blocks, there are no distractions. His office is set up for work, his phone is off, and he stays away from that inbox during his work blocks. While deep work might not be for everyone, there are a few lessons that can get you into a good working rhythm. For instance, creating a space that is distraction-free when you know you should be focusing on the task at hand. Remove the desk blotter, the desktop toys, even music if you must, at least until you're able to work through tasks more efficiently. Then, when the job is done, doodle on that blotter all you want. Let those around you in on your plan. All those office workers who made the change to remote work not only need to change the way they approach their work and home blocks, but also educate their families to do the same. Provide a clear schedule of work time and family time. This allows you to work and have fun without guilt on either side as you're effectively implementing time management like a boss. 6. Create new habits. You know which actions let you down. You know that if you come home from work, sit down, and switch the TV on, you don't get anything done. Sure, you need that break, but you also need to have that break without worrying about everything you still need to do. Instead, take 15 minutes to put your things away, such as your laptop bag, your shoes, and have a shower or change into your gym gear. When you do this often enough, that after-work couch lull will disappear. Forming a new habit can be tough. However, when you consistently perform an action and continue to do this for a length of time, your brain misses that action when you don't do it. The brain is all about systems and routines. According to Charles Duhigg, author of The Power of Habit, our habits are what determine how successful we are at meeting our goals. Basically, you need an action plan to cement the habits you want to form. At first, a habit is a choice. Then, in time and with enough repetition, it becomes an act we no longer think about, we just do. Your brain simply creates a new formula to follow. 7. Give yourself permission to fail. This one stings far more than we realize. Especially if we were birthed into families where failure was frowned upon and even punished. It makes it hard for us to equate failure to growth, learning, or anything positive for that matter. But successful people know better. They know that failure is an opportunity to go back to the drawing board and become better, not bitter. By giving yourself permission to fail, you're far more likely to try new things and explore new avenues because you know that failure is not the end. Ask yourself what the worst thing is that could happen, and if it doesn't cause irreversible damage or physical harm, can you give it a chance? 8. Use positive instead of negative self-talk. Negative self-talk can derail your efforts to get things done in every aspect of your life. Telling yourself that you're a lazy person is a form of negative self-talk. You can stop your negative internal voice by practicing positive self-talk. Instead of saying, "There's no way I can get this done," say, "I'll give it my all to make it happen." 9. Make tedious tasks fun. We tend to avoid jobs that we find boring or tedious. Chores like cleaning the gutters or bathroom will never be loads of fun, but you can make them more enjoyable. Try listening music or a podcast, or put on your fitness tracker to see how many calories you burn or steps you get while performing these tasks. 10. Reward yourself. Getting a job done is a reward in itself, but some people are driven by external rewards. Focus on what you'll gain from getting something done, like getting closer to a promotion, or reward yourself for a job well done. Celebrate the end of a big project with a night out or invite friends over for drink after a day of cleaning. This should get you pumped for the next task. Laziness isn't always a bad thing, and everyone deserves a slow day now and again. Figuring out how to stop being lazy may be as simple as changing the way you approach certain tasks and adopting healthier lifestyle. If you're having trouble finding the energy and desire to do things more often, you can take action with these tips and get your life back on track.